ladies and gentlemen. We are pleased to welcome you to the afternoon session of Track 1. Let us commence by welcoming the luminaries we have with us today. Our track chairperson, Dr. R.K. Srivastava, Head of Department, Simsri, and our co-chairperson, Mr. Nagaraj Iyer, founder and CEO at Senseware Infomedia Private Limited, our faculty coordinator, Dr. Ajit Patil, and our rapporteur for the session, Professor Rita Ravnekar. I would now like to ask Dr. Patil to introduce and felicitate our track chairperson and co-chairperson.
So shall I introduce first? Good afternoon. I'm sure you had a good lunch. It is my privilege to introduce both the chair and co-chair of this session. Professor R.K. Srivastava. He is the head of marketing and research with Segnam Institute of Management Studies, Churchgate, Mumbai. He is head of the Department of Marketing with Segnam, and since he is there since July 2012. As you all know, Segnam is affiliated to University of Mumbai, and this is 150-year-old institution, Asia's first commerce college, and where Professor Babasaheb Ambedkar also used to teach. So very reputed institute. Mr. Srivastava was emeritus professor, marketing and head of PhD cell in SIMSR from 2004 to 2010, again in University of Mumbai. He consulted reputed pharmaceutical companies. He represented ROWA as country head in India. He has over 30 years of managerial experience in industry. He has organized 7 national and international conferences. Mr. Srivastava had chaired session at Canada, USA, India, Malaysia, etc. He has given lectures in California State University and Wisconsin University in 2013. Dr. Srivastava has published over 195 research articles in international and national reputed journals. He had chaired sessions at international conferences. He has written 5 books in the area of product management and sales management, negotiations, international business culture, and retail case study. His business school under his tenure became the best in the best zone in India and got the best syllabus award. He was rated by DNA newspaper and Star as Innovative Professor of the Year 2013, Marketing Innovation Award for 2014 by ABP News. Another distinct, our co-chair, Mr. Nagaraj Iyer, has done his computer science engineering from Bangalore, worked in various IT firms earlier. These IT firms are like Wipro, and also for Dalal Street Journal and Scala Norway. He turned entrepreneur by launching India's first local information TV channel called Info TV, reaching over 4 million homes. He also headed the team developing smart TV operation system for video call. Currently founder and CEO of Senseware Infotech Media, an integrated digital agency. It caters to over 500 companies in India and internationally in digital domain. Mr. Nagaraj is certified neuro-linguistic practitioner and business coach, and he is helping entrepreneurs ignite their full inner potential. So, welcome you, sir. And we would like to felicitate him. Shall I invite our dean, Professor Preeti Saxena, Dr. Preeti Saxena, to felicitate? Thank you, sir. Mr. Nagaraj. Thank you, madam. May I request the chair now to start the proceedings? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I would request our chair and co-chair to kindly come on stage and give out their brief opening comments.
What we will do, we will follow the norms which is being practiced in the international forum. So we will start with the presenter. Each presenter will be given a time to do, I was told, 10 minutes, followed by the topics. And at the end of the session, he will conclude. And I will give comments and you will give comments during that session of individual, because once the presenter has finished, by the time you all are finished, then you know the whole thought process vanishes. So we follow strictly the norms as far as I am concerned. So can you have the, you want to say, Mami? Can we call the people, how many people are there present so that let us know? 2. Okay. So who will come first? Sir? Yeah? Yeah, she is present, she is 2.
Anybody else is there? Kavita is Kavita.
Who is that?
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Mrs. Kavita Venkatachari. My specialization is IT and operation. Sorry. I have taken the topic IoT in healthcare, disruption and I. My paper is primary research data. I have collected primary data from various hospitals, Hiranandani, Jupiter Hospital, and DY Portal Hospital. I should say thanks to all doctors who have helped me, and including my daughter. She has helped me to collect and meet the doctors to collect the data. I'll start. What is IoT? Is really IoT is hype? No. IoT was there 15 years back also, now also. IoT, why IoT and why IoE? IoT is Internet of Things and IoE is Internet of Everything. But here, so many disruption people have talked about in the morning, so I am not going to touch upon the topics. I think you all have listened the examples. So I am going to talk about only SMAC. I have shown the picture over there, Internet of Everything. What is Internet of Everything or Internet of Things? Anywhere, anytime, anything, any people can use from the data anywhere. All type of data. So the term has come IoT or IoE. I've shown the picture over there, people, data, things. These 3 things are connected with the process. It may be people with people, or people to data, data to things, or things to people. So I have used the terms, it's very clear there, people to people, machine to machine, or people to machine. So I use the term IoT, I think you are clear. Why IoT is now very hyped or buzz? Before, we are having IPv2, IPv3, that kind of protocols. Now we are having super protocols and at the same time we are having 4G. So we are connecting people anytime and at the same time it is having large volume of IP address it is releasing and we can operate through battery services anywhere, anytime. So I have taken this term IoT here. And if you want to achieve IoT, but especially why I have taken the healthcare sector, morning people have discussed that in education, in banking, but nobody is touching mostly on that health sector part. Yes, people are using apps as well as people are using Internet of Things in big hospitals. So I should say really once more thanks to Dr. Sanjay Oak, the Vice Chancellor of DY Patil. He has helped me to give the data, but he said, don't disclose the medicines, but how the medicines and the disorders are helping pharma industry. That was my objective. My objective is how IoT, Internet of Things medical care, helpful in managing the shift from paper-based prescription to digital-based prescription. My second objective was how hospital information system data not only helping the patient care, but it is helping the pharma industry also. How pharma industry is going to get benefited? Now I have a data. I have got the text analytics with the data, with the prescriptions. I'll show the data. I'll show my output. Through the output, the pharma company can manufacture the medicines. What are the disorders are there? Now recently they find out how many patients are repeatedly coming. So which medicine they want to manufacture more. So that was my second objective. And my third is, we all are talking about big data analytics. Through my sensors, RFID, and communication, telecommunication, actuators, these all are helping to collect data, processing the data, then it is, here I'm talking about the architecture of IoT, whatever I'm saying here. RFID is helping, you may be knowing the term RFID. The RFID is helping the identification and information of storage from the patient. And information collection, I am doing through the sensors. Then information processing, how we are doing, embedded objects we are using, the hospitals are using, for special kind of patients they are using, communication, this is communication network I am using here, and control and activation. This is the architecture of IoT. But I am not going to too detail because it is a marketing conference, so I am not discussing much about architecture part. Here I am showing one data architecture. This is remotely how they are monitoring a patient. Here the patient details are collected through wireless connectivity or wireless satellite connectivity is there, and then the telecommunication part is collecting through GSM or GPS, and they are controlling, and these all the data are stored in one place, and then it is real-time data they are collected, then they are doing the big data analytics. But in my research part, I have collected the prescriptions. Through that, I have analyzed big data analytics, how the pharma industry is useful. Here I am talking about what are the benefits of IoT in MD. This is mainly low cost care we can do. Another one, improved patient outcomes. Next, real-time disease management they can find out. Improved quality of life. Another one, improved user experience they can gain. This output I got through the prescriptions. I have collected 500 samples. I did text analytics. Through text analytics, I used R programming. In R programming is open source. So I have written the code. I have taken the code from there and I put that whatever the prescriptions they have given, we verified, and then digitally I have converted the data. Then I put it to the text in one place. Then I analyze the data. But here you are seeing that word cloud. The word cloud is showing which is the stronger word, which is a big word. As strong words, you are seeing failure, disorder, pancreatitis, symptoms, syndrome. These all are the disorders I find out from the word cloud. And at the same time, but I shown that output to the doctors. The doctors said, don't show the medicine name to the conference, but you only show please their disorders only. Depends upon that the pharma companies are manufacturing the medicines. So sorry for that. I'm not showing the medicine to you, but I'm only showing what are the disorders are available. They find out in that for the past 1 year I have collected the data. Here you are seeing are repeatedly used that the machine has found out. But the doctors are not only depending on that natural language processing. The doctors are depending on their own brain, human brain also, as well as how the machine is predicted. Both the part are included here, and then only they are manufacturing the medicine, they said. Because medical part is not my area, so I had a meeting with many doctors and vice chancellor also. So they have given this idea to me, so I have taken this part. How really this is the machine is working? Text analytics. From the text analytics, I can find out the precision and recall. This is this is my language. Machine language is doing. So I have collected all the documents in one place. Then it is what relevant data and retrieved data I have collected. That is my precision machine is showing and recall value. But I can't show the medicine name. Please, so sorry for that once more. But here I'm good. Sorry. I can see here what are the applications are here. But my text analytics can be helpful in news article classification, automatic email filtering, web page classification, word sense disambiguation, and at the same time, pharma industry to manufacture medicine also. Because our title is digital disruption and at the same time, the trend and challenges in marketing. So the challenge here is how pharma company is going to get benefited through this. That was my paper. I have taken one case study, but in my paper I put the case how they are monitoring the patient. Unstructured data is converted into text part, how, what kind of outputs the machine is giving, that I put it in the paper, but I am not showing the output, only here the medicine name. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions?
I'll just give my comments to your coach. So you gave a very vague presentation according to me. I have not understood. I'm in the pharmaceutical industry for 30 years.
Okay.
I have not understood what was your conclusion. Point number one.
Okay.
See, whenever you make a paper, this is your first time you are making a presentation?
No.
Okay. See, whenever you're making a presentation, can I be a little suggestive?
Yeah,
Is it okay with you?
no problem. Yeah, okay.
Take it coolly.
Yeah.
So the idea is to achieve, the idea is that when you attend the conference, you're able to get some takeaway so that you can improvise.
Yes.
That's what I take it in mind. I also attend, I get suggestions, I improvise myself so that I can do a better research. The idea is that first of all, your objective, you said, how did you arrive at a particular objective? You have to justify. Once you are very clear how you determine the objective, then what happens to your research methodology becomes more refined.
But here I have not found any research methodology is not needed, I find out. Because
it is a secondary data. You are doing the data analytics, right?
yeah.
Existing data, analysis of existing data is called secondary analysis. So it is a secondary research. And based on the secondary research, you are trying to find out how the prescription, which I have understood, how the prescription using this your analytical tool can be mapped. So that will be beneficial for the user, maybe pharmaceutical company may use it to say that you can find out the trend of the doctor prescription behavior.
Yes.
Right? There is a prescription audit report comes in. But there are two companies which are publishing the trends in pharmaceutical companies. Earlier used to be IMS, now you have from Calcutta also you get CMR data, the prescription audit report. Now, the point which I'm coming back to the research is that normally what you should do, whether it is secondary data and primary data, first part is you must write, you must tell which you have done very well in the introduction part. Now, why statement of problems and need for the study has not covered. See, normally the second phase of the research is always try to find out why did they take up this topic. What are the problems and problem areas in the research? So you have to write statement of problems and need for the study. Once you have done that, right, then comes your literature review, where you try to find out what others have done and which I am doing. Is this something new?
That I have written in the paper.
No, fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
it's not come out. I'm talking about this paper.
Okay.
Right. I'm commenting on your presentation. Right. So once you have done literature review, then you need to find out the gaps. What are the gaps? Missing gaps. See, if one author has done in this area, what are the missing gaps of that particular area which I have to pick up and do a research so that it will be a contributory research in that area.
Okay.
Right? Because I have to ask myself, what is the new thing I'm doing? If everything is known, fine. That means you are not supplementing the research. Right? Once you have done that, literature review, gap analysis, go back to the methodology. Methodology has to be very, very clear how you have done it. Right? In methodology, if you write papers, methodology is one area where many papers get rejected because the clarity of methodology is not there. So you have to have research design. How did you approach? Which hospitals you have done? You mentioned Dr. Oak, I know, is a good friend of mine, right? The vice chancellor and president of the Party, in place of that gentleman who was a cardiologist. He has come 2 years back. So you have to mention this data, right? In research design, how did you do that? After research design, what is the sample size you took? Sample size is based on secondary data.
500 prescriptions.
So 500, that means there should be some brief mention in the paper. And then analysis of the prescription profile. What sort of doctors they are? Are they physicians, general physicians, cardiologists, gynecologists? Because each prescription behavior of these different practicing doctors, they vary. Age of the doctors also have an influencing factor on prescription. You go back to Google, write prescription behavior of doctors, mention my name, you will get some old papers written by me, right? On medical, International Journal of Medical Marketing, there is one paper which we published 2014, right? So the point is trying to say that these have to be added, right? And then results, there should be clarity on results. 1, 2, 3, 4, keeping that objective in mind, right? And then you discuss how your findings will be useful to the, and then you can. That is the way you have to do. That's why I asked you, are you doing for the first time? If you're not doing for the first time, then I must contribute. I also learned, don't worry, I also learned. I'm also industry man, right? So from industry I went to academics. Then I realized that academic research is something different than the industry research, right? In academic research, you go very deep, try to understand the psychological factor, behavior pattern, but that has to be all incorporated in your research. If the topic is in that particular topic, these factors can be incorporated, fine, otherwise not. Since yours is a descriptive research, so at least you should mention some. The inference you should have mentioned. That will be better. This is my suggestion to you.
Thank you.
Take it in a very positive way.
Yeah.
Right? And I always mention that when somebody gives you a suggestion, it is only for the improvement of the site. And don't worry, I also get heavily criticized. Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You've done a good job.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to call Dr. Lata Ramachandran to present her paper on digital revolution in retail payments, role and challenges of National Payments Corporation of India.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, the chairperson of the panel. I have made an attempt to study this digital revolution in the retail payment system in the country, and it's actually a case study of National Payments Corporation of India. When I did the case study, I started exploring what the organization is. I really found out that how important is this organization in the recent banking scenario. And when we talk about payments, we always conceptualize when we buy something, we have to make a payment, and there has to be a payment mode. So, how this payment mode has changed over the period of time. And we have actually gone from a very traditional payment mode to a digital payment system. Since morning, we have been talking about e-banking and e-transactions and all these areas, and how really the banking has undergone massive change and transformation. So probably this first slide I have just given an overview that how the traditional cash payment, conventional payment has gone into disruptive innovation, and now what kind of digital payments we are into. We are totally into a virtual currency mode, and we can talk that each ATM will be a virtual ATM in the coming years. And when we can actually take the ATM with us and we can transact the business of payments. So probably this is what I would like to talk upon or I have explored in this area. Just to get into the payment infrastructure in the country, if you see this particular thing, we talk about we want to get into the non-cash society where we should have all cashless transactions for buying and selling the products in the market, because we know that the e-commerce is pushing and it is changing the payment infrastructure overall globally everywhere. And if you see this particular diagram, you can see that in India we are still having cash very much in circulation in the economy, though we talk about e-commerce and all these things, and where the technology has come in the picture and where we say that there is a digital disruption happening because of the revolution in mobile technologies. So this is what the scenario still is. Still we have 11.5% cash circulation in the country. And if we see globally, this is the situation. But if you see the breakup in the Indian scenario, then probably we are now slowly or in a fast pace, we are moving towards a digital payment system. So because of, we can see lot of mobile revolution is happening even in the rural areas or unbanked areas in the country. So I will just get into the methodology and objectives of the study. This is a descriptive case study based on the information I have collected from the website of National Payment Corporation of India, reports, interviews I have taken of some officials of NPCI, and they have also given their interviews relating to the payment system in the public domain. So that was the source of information what I have taken for the study. So these are some of the objectives, probably can be a broader objective, but this can be one of the limitations of the case study to capture the growth of Indian payment landscape, to know the role of NPCI with regard to their digitally innovative payment products and services, to understand the challenges faced by NPCI in keeping up the commitment in the delivery of high technology oriented products, and the road
ahead of NPCI. Why I have taken this particular thing? Because now the banking is highly threatened by the startup companies, fintech companies, and also the IT giants in the market because of the e-commerce which is coming up very fast in the business scenario. So I thought, what will happen to the banking scenario? Is there a threat to the banking scenario, and will NPCI will be in a position to withstand this banking competition in the market? Indian payments, if you have a look at this is some study which I have captured from the Motilal Oswal report of 2015, which talks about Indian payments 2015. The electronic bill payment is expected to become a 250 billion rupees industry in the coming years. And this has been further, you can say, activated or pushed by the recent government's Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which is expected to increase the active banking usage. Probably we all know how this benefits and all social security measures are all channelized through this Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and which is also for that the authentication is through Aadhaar payment system, which is again electronically or digitally managed system. And the point of sale devices which is on the increase, and mobile banking, mobile wallets, online payments, these are going to rule the market. So anybody making an app relating to the payments, he is going to rule the market. So banking may not come in the picture. Traditional banking will undergo disruption. And the payment industry is going to witness a very exponential growth with the entry of payment banks. Now we can say that RBI is becoming very, very proactive with regard to the payment banks and small finance banks and all these things. So definitely this particular opportunity will be explored or will be capitalized by the startup companies, and they will look for these kind of businesses in the coming years. And the banking industry, how it has responded to the whole thing. So now I will tell you, see how this RBI has come out with a particular, they had a vision document in the year 2005 on payment infrastructure. They said they had the vision that many small time companies are going to come up as players in the payment market. So it has to be regulated, and there has to be a universal system to manage the payment system in the country. So they wanted an umbrella institution to be formed. So this incorporation of umbrella institution for a universal and integrative mechanism was formed, and this particular NPCI was incorporated in the year 2008 to take care of all the payment needs in the country. Some of the products of NPCI which I would like to say, see, they have many very good digitally oriented products, technologically oriented products. See, they have one of the largest network of shared ATMs in India now. And see, they have almost how many members as their member banks? They have member banks, they have the ATMs which are in their network, and they have the monthly transactions which goes in 33 crores. So many member banks are there, they are in the network of this national financial switch, which is maintained by National Payment Corporation of India. And I would like to take this pride to tell you that we have now our own card, debit card, which is RuPay card. And this RuPay card, I think many countries don't have their own card, but India has its own RuPay card now launched, and which is at par with many of the international cards, and it has also entered into the alliance with Discover Financial Services of US. So it has become an international card now. And then IMPS Intermobile Payment Services. This is one of the very instant bank fund transfer mechanism. So this is going to be a game changer in the coming years because it can reach the rural area. Even the person, if he doesn't have a network connection, he can also do this fund transfer. And for this, NPCI has got the alliance, or you can say they have the collaborative thing up to with the what you can say, with all the telecom service providers. And AEPS is one more area where they have this Aadhaar enabled payment system where they can actually Aadhaar authentication will help in the rural areas to reach to the people for collection of funds and deposit of funds and see the balance inquiry and all those things. And NASH is National Automated Clearing House, which talks about what you can say. You can now NPCI is working as a clearing house. Earlier, we used to go to the Reserve Bank and we used to do the clearing house activities. But now it is done, everything is automated and the technology is with them. And then the check truncation system, where you have electronic image of the check and which can be managed for the transaction purpose. So these are some of the prominent products of NPCI. And then with respect to this, NPCI has got, they do the transactions in millions in the, just 1 second. In millions, they do transaction on a daily basis. And they have the technology has to go very smoothly. So that is one of their biggest challenge, and 24/7 they have to be on the technology, and they are having the threat of other companies coming up and may take up their business in the future. So banks or the NPCI or the payment system or the regulatory body, it has to continually innovate and they need to collaborate with their own people, those who are the competitors in the business. Thank you very much. Maybe, sorry, I have taken more time. Thank you so much. Sorry, sir, I just.
So what is the conclusion?
Conclusion is.
Can I take some time?
Yeah. Conclusion, I just wanted to say whether NPCI will face the threat from the competitors. I will go to the last slide. Competitors, whether they are going to face the thing. One thing what they said is, we are innovating on the new products from time to time, and they are getting into one more new product, that is tap and go, micro payment mechanism, which is actually in other countries, it has been started long back. But now in India it will start because all this metros and all is coming in the picture. So we require this tap and go to be done. So this tap and go, you can just swipe your card and you can go, and it will be linked to the RuPay card of the country. So whoever has got the card, they can have this tap and go. And also they will have this toll collection and all these things will be automated. So they are getting into more and more innovations. Okay. And they are creating a platform for the fintech companies and e-commerce companies, because they are having their own, what you can say, Aadhaar authentication and the, what you can say, UPI, they call it as Unified Public Payment Interface. So this UPI interface will help the startup companies or whoever wants to start the business, they can start the business with the platform created by NPCI, which will be regulated also. So that will work as a regulatory body, and status quo of the traditional banking is going to change and it is getting disrupted in a big way, and NPCI is going to play a key role. It is going to continue to play the key role because it's a systemically important organization. So anything which happens, it is going to result in a financial crisis. Thank you so much.
You should have added, the impact of this disruptive approach on the consumer behavior. So your research could have been, because it is basically an article,
Yes.
it's not a research. So sorry to say that.
Article in the sense,
Yeah,
it's,
it's an article.
yeah,
It is the basic data is available, you are just making the people aware. Now, how you can make it more interesting? Just giving
see,
you the-
one more thing, I would like to give one more challenge. See, now in the rural areas, we don't have much of the technology facility available. So NPCI has created a platform, but to take it to the rural areas, still it's a very big challenge. So in the morning, we had presentation on banking. They were also mentioning about it, that how to take it to the rural area. So in the rural areas now they are coming out with the financial inclusion programs and all, but it will take little time because technology is not supporting. So some NPCI officials, they were telling that we require some more, anyway government is supporting to a great extent because they have one of the product as how they do the benefit transfer of this LPG subsidies and all. So that is also routed through this particular NPCI through a technology. So they are telling we are playing a role for the government also, we are playing a role for the member banks also, but at the same time to still more we have to expand the reach. We have to touch every Indian by 2020. That is what the vision they have. By one of the payment product, digital payment product. That's what we have. Yeah.
What you could have added is the consumer perception as an add-on resource.
Sir, I can tell you that this is also my limitation. Basically, I'm not a marketing person. That is
But
another
you are
drawback I have.
you are a resource scholar.
I will look into it.
Because the consumer acceptance is very, very important.
Yes, consumer
So
acceptance.
that could
Yeah.
have been a.
Anyway, banks are their customers, but indirectly they are touching the customers at large, retail customers. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Next, I would like to call upon stage Ms. Ketki Katore, who shall be talking about mobile marketing, an emerging trend in marketing communication for brand building, a conception framework.
I don't think she could do it. We could have her abstracts with her, but she's still not here.
Since ma'am has not been able to make it, let's proceed with the next presentation. Next, we have digital disruptions in banking, which shall be presented by Mr. Ashish Nair and Mr. Nishchal Puri.
We get the track here in absentia, but Kapuli ma'am might still come. Just give a minute.
Invite. I request my colleague to give conclusion to papers.
Sure, sir. Please.
Yes,
Great. Thank you everybody for inviting me, especially Professor Hemant, and thank you very much for Dr. Srivatsava for being with me today. I have got both the papers. I have seen the papers what have been presented by my earlier presentation. I'd like to give you some comments and conclusion of the whole thing. So today's topic being the digital disruption, what we're talking about, and the first paper presented by Professor Kavita, okay, which is on the thing. What I understand from here is the research has been done very well planned and was being done, and I really like the logic and the methodology we've gone through it. Okay, considering the today's topic, the digital disruption, which you've seen, okay, I wonder if the paper presented, okay, can really cause any disruption to the whole industry, is what my conclusion is. Okay, and what I'm finding is it is more like a marketing presentation for a pharma company. Okay, in which they're going to be increasing their sales and their benefit is more higher. Okay, so I should consider this more a marketing strategy than a digital disruption. What we're talking about. So I really appreciate the analysis and the data formulation you've done. Okay, thank you very much. And the next presentation done by Dr. Lata. Yeah, okay. So the methodology and objective of the data was very well put in. I really enjoyed the whole presentation as Dr. Srivastava said that no, this is more like a education section which you done. Okay. Again, considering the presentation papers, this all what you've done is more like a transactional strategy. Okay. Like how a bank has to go through a transaction and how it can be more beneficial to the bank. So I understand currently traditionally we're already using ATMs and so many other things which have been there. Okay. So does the transaction strategy still going to cause a digital disruption? Okay, is my consideration because I don't see anything really coming up disrupting the transactional things in the bank. Okay. Of course, in the last slide you gave a little more insight to Professor. And what I thought in the last slide is yes, of course, there are going to be certain disruptions will happen during the payment transaction. Okay, I think I'm able to understand there will be some kind of possibly disruption which might happen in the future. Yeah. So I would like to, after probably the next two presenters, I'll probably sum up my conclusion, what I consider as a digital disruption.
Is it there? Has it come? Or?
We have one presentation.
Next we have Mr. Ashish Nair and Mr. Rishmi Puri who will be talking about digital disruption in banking.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the panel, the chairperson. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. We come from HDFC Bank, and this is an insider view of what we perceive digital disruption to be. So the title of the presentation is a Game Changer or a Convenient Truth. So we'll try and take you through this presentation in a short time. So basically, this is about two extremes. So as Jack Welch famously said, if change on the outside exceeds the change on the inside, then the end is near. So that's one view. What we have also heard about disruption is that disruption is founded on anxiety, panic, and shaky evidence. So basically, we ask a few questions, and we seek answers to those questions. Who are these disruptors? What causes worry? Is it their lack of baggage or their agility and the speed to kill? Can they actually disrupt banking? What is present-day reality in India, and are they here to stay? What are the enablers? How will banks respond? And this is going to be a rerun of the David and Goliath story. As I mentioned, disruption is a theory of change founded in panic, anxiety, and shaky evidence. We distinctly remember 2 to 3 years back, we were having these issues in our organization and struggling to deal with it. So to give you an idea of what is happening in the financial services sector in the country today, it is all about the internet. So disruption is going to ride on the back of the internet, as we all know. Internet access is growing at a fast clip of 34% on a year-on-year basis. It's about huge opportunity, so it's only about covered 20% of the country's population. 23% of the internet accessing population only does digital banking today, so again, huge opportunity. As one of the presenters mentioned, we have a cash economy in a big way, and the movement towards digital economy has already started. So typically, the digital economy is only about 5%, and as I mentioned, it's just started. Interventions like the ECS, the ACH, the IMPS are new payment interventions, and they are going to drive the digital surge as they are already doing, as we speak. They can disrupt products like debit cards and credit cards. These are major banking products, and this will happen in a significant fashion. Largely, disruption is being witnessed in the payments business, as we are witnessing today. And consequently, what is also happening is 35% of our customers, that is the banking customers, have started using mobile wallets of other providers, and that is causing share diversion from the traditional banks. Yeah. So it's just a sum up of the kind of infrastructure we have: 125K branches, about 180K ATMs, 1.1 million POS machines, and about 2K branch correspondents. So, on what is disruption basically, riding on? It's a small instrument called the mobile. So, and it's a huge thing in India. So, with almost about 1 billion plus mobile population, the mobile and increased smartphone usage obviously is leading the digital surge. We expect the smartphone users to grow up to about 600 million by 2020. And it has a great potential to revolutionize. So we have things like eKYC on the mobile, and we could do biometric authentication. This is something that we've already started doing in the banking industry, and this is going to rise at a fast clip. So this is going to be, the game changer as we move forward. So coming to critical enablers, what is enabling digitization? So a few things. One, there is availability of customer data. We are integrating in legacy systems like never before. Aadhaar, as one of the analysts mentioned, has almost 1 billion population, and this is going to grow. It also offers huge opportunity in terms of eKYC as well as biometrics, and this can be used effectively for customer acquisition as we go forward. Internet penetration in urban areas is going at a fast clip, but surprisingly slow, even growing almost at double the rate in the rural areas. So that is significant. We have 61 million online banking customers today. That is expected to increase by 3 times in the next 5 years. The RBI recently sanctioned a KYC repository where people are supposed to lodge their customer databases or the customer KYC. This is going to again, work wonders for for people who use these digitization as a means to acquire customers. As I mentioned, increasing mobile population is already 1 billion, and it will continue to increase at a fast rate. Digitization of loans is now becoming a possibility. So we have banks now who are doing end-to-end digitization of loans. We are integrating more and more information. So we are integrating bureau information along with our loan operating systems to give end-to-end service to the customer and eventually customer delight. There are a few things which I think the regulator still needs to do. And if they do that, I think it will sort of broad-base the whole digitization framework. So law and regulatory support for scraping techniques to analyze customer creditworthiness would be something that the RBI would be looking at very, very closely. Once this comes into play, I think credit decisioning with regard to customers will become that much more easier and informative. So the digital conundrum in the country now is being led by the payment banks largely. So in a significant move, RBI has granted licenses to 11 payment banks, and they're going to be up and running in about a year, 2.5 years time. What they have done is very intelligently selected a wide range of of people here. So from pharma companies to NBFCs to telecom companies to something as valuable as the India Post. So we have a fair range. These institutions will largely focus on low-cost delivery models, which is basically completely opposite to what traditional banks and financial service providers operate on. They are largely expected to propound government programs like direct benefit transfers. What they bring to the table is obviously a lot of customer focus, usability as well as ease of operations. It is something that banks are not want to do normally. It can create new customer acquisition in rural areas, so that is that we expect them to largely operate. They will disrupt the acquisition strategy of traditional financial providers in these areas. And they will finally bring to the fore huge customer data and often common. So the customer will never, or most likely not, remain the preserve of any one institution. Sorry. So what are the product outlays? The product outlay which are causing digitization is largely mobile wallets, financial loan product aggregation, and P2P lending in the country today. Mobile wallets obviously is the primary mover. of digitization here. Primarily through fund transfers and that to recharges in a big way. So to give you some numbers, about 400 million transactions happened, in the year 2014 and 15, as opposed to 265 million mobile banking transactions. So clearly, this has already, taken a march for mobile banking. Not surprisingly, this is almost 80% of check payments today, and it is slated to overtake this in maybe 6 months from now. They focus on small customers and high volume transactions. And while the online spends were 4.95 lakh, 4.95 lakh crores in this financial year, almost 1.26 lakh came through the mobile payment route. So it is getting very significant and it is growing at a fair clip at about 90% on a year-on-year basis. Financial loan product aggregation is typically uh, loan aggregators who are basically displaying loan products of various different organizations. This has still not taken off in a big way. It is largely still about 2 to 3% of the overall, finance market. This has not taken up for the simple reason that a lot of the banks have not integrated mainframes along with these people, and hence they have largely remained the loan eligibility providers as opposed to end-to-end digitized, as opposed to delivering end-to-end digitized service. P2P lending, again, is something that is very nascent, but it's coming up. It can significantly impact banking products like personal loans or business loans. So it is something that someone in the banking framework will be watching very, very closely. The regulatory standpoint, not surprisingly, half of India's population doesn't have a bank account. 30,000 of the country's 6 lakh villages, only have a bank branch. So the financial inclusion that banks were supposed to do has clearly not happened. The RBI is cognizant of that, and hence, the move to give brand licenses to 11 banks. They are obviously trying to make banking more inclusive and competitive. At the same time, they are giving structural push to ensure that there is cohabitation as well as a singular approach to common customer databases. And the RBI, as they have displayed in the past, are expected to move quickly for the customer as we move forward. So the customer at the core, of digitization. I mean, why are we doing all this? It's obviously because of the customer. So we need to realize that the customer today is a digital customer, and only the intensity or the level of adoption may vary. Customers are increasingly now open to doing branchless banking, so maybe he's open to doing banking at the night, in the night at about 1, or maybe while he's traveling on the train or at an airport. He's significantly tilting towards omnichannel versus traditional relationship models. We will assume customer loyalty at our own peril. The customer is far more discerning today, and you can actually look at someone else depending on the kind of transaction he's doing. So for a mobile recharge, you could actually look at a payment aggregator, or for a movie ticket, you could look at a payment aggregator, and he could come back to normal transactions for you as a bank. But that is the way of life as we move forward. Ultimately, banks and financial institutions may have to be what he wants you to be. So we have now banks and institutions trying to offer services like this. They are trying to offer personalized credit and debit cards, net banking skins, etc., to give the customer that feeling of ownership. So the metamorphosis into a digital bank. What will banks have to do? It will have to be multiple things for multiple customers. It will have to go beyond customers' primary requirements and act as access providers or provide value-added services. So it is not just about the product in itself, but what goes around the purchase decision of a customer or the purchase requirement of a customer. Loans, as I mentioned earlier, will need end-to-end digitization for true customer delight. Banks will have to adopt an omnichannel approach. So they will also have to engage and participate in the wider economic system, given the fact that startups and the fintech companies are reality today. So collaboration with payment banks and mobile companies will be the order of the day as we move forward. And tech enablement and data analytics for customer experience will have to be enhanced and advanced and that is already. So finally, the response of the Goliath, is there hope? So it's not all doom as we see it within the banking framework. We have three options. We had three options, say maybe a couple of years back. Either adopt a ostrich mentality and assume that nothing could happen, or fight it out and try and see that they don't grow and they don't affect us, or simply use this as an opportunity to change ourselves. Okay, most of the banks and financial institutions are moving that route, and largely because of these reasons. Because we feel that there is room for everyone in this space. We believe that disruption drives innovation, and if the customer wants it, why should we stay behind? We also believe that traditional risks will continue to matter because customers look for holistic solutions, and banks will be able to provide that. We also have to understand that banks have to their advantage certain things like strong security systems, customer database and engagement levels, which we have built over a period of time, established omni-channels, and the expertise to operate in a highly regulated market environment, which the startups or fintechs may not have. So the choice. So what are banks doing today in the country? So they've already started collaboration with startups, the fintech companies. So you have banks which have their own payment applications like PayZapp, Pockets, and PingPay. However, the customer base that they may have generated still pays in comparison to somebody like a Paytm, for instance. But however, there is realization and they want to move towards that. What they are also doing is they are carving out a niche very clearly. So while somebody like a Paytm operates in a low value, high volume kind of scenario, payment apps of banks have typically higher value and low transaction volume. So that is something they would like to play on. They are also flanking in terms of the fact that they will bring in credit cards and debit cards on a virtual basis for small ticket online shopping. Tap and pay products which are already available in the West today will come in a short while in the country. Certain other very simple products like missed call banking and virtual relationship management tools have been initiated for larger customer experience. Consumer loan products are now being offered in seconds. So you have some banks who are offering products on net banking where instant disbursals are facilitated. Banks, because they also operate in the offline space, will merge the online and the offline experience for the customer. That we expect will be the ultimate experience for the customer. Banks are integrating their database, their CRM, and the omnichannel experience along with other centralized databases like PAN, Aadhaar, bureau integrations with their mainframes. This will help better credit decisioning and quicker credit decisioning, as we move forward. The ATM network is a major opportunity for selling our products, and I think that will come up in a big way as we move forward. So the conclusion, we believe that banks and fintechs will survive one another, and in fact will depend on one another. So while they compete, they will also complement. As I mentioned earlier, partnerships between banks and fintechs are being activated, almost on a daily basis. This is an activity which is going on in a big way. Banks can put up wide financial services in neat customer packages, and not just here, they are also looking to invest in fintech companies. So a lot of work is already happening on that front. We would have to believe that wallets run on top of the bank's systems, and hence fintechs will have a certain amount of dependability on the banks, but not for long. So as long as the banks realize the need to innovate for the sake of the customer, they will do well. So the simple thing is you could look at disruption as revolution, and that's what we believe the banks are going to do as we move forward. So we do believe that the Goliath may actually win if they choose to. Whichever way, let a billion plus people benefit. Thank you.
You've done a research, but you're not presenting.
Yeah, I was.
You should have done that, because
I can present that, but it was slightly detailed. Yeah.
taken that because
I'll summarize the results if you want me to.
Okay, the only suggestion from my side in terms of which will be beneficial to your company as a whole.
It's here actually.
Yeah. And the company as a whole will be, just a suggestion. Wherever you give source,
Yeah.
percentage you give source.
Sure.
It's just a suggestion. It's
Yeah.
a common mistake. When I had 30 years of industry experience, I used to do the same thing. Unless somebody pointed out to me, it's the source. So then, because you have to give source. So that is the, when your data presenting, give source. Is a suggestion from my side. Now, as far as your company is concerned, I think it's good to, if you can, extend the study what you have done. I've gone through your research, on gender, religion, and ethnicity. See, your topic is good, and how these three factors, three variables, have the different acceptance. So, when you measure the acceptance, then what happens? It will help you to target that customer base, accordingly. Because you know which type of class of customers is targetable, which type of customers are not targetable in terms of religion or in terms of ethnicity. For an example, the study I'm talking about, the study which we have done, a lot of study has been done abroad as well as in India also. So, for example, western part of India, the northern part of India are more extrovert. In general, I'm saying, right? We also control, but in general, I'm talking about based on the research findings. Now, if they are more adaptive to the new ideas, right? So, what happens to a disruptive approach of marketing? I would say the technique, what you call digitalization, will be definitely be more acceptable by this class of people compared to if you go to eastern side or southern side. This is I'm talking based on the findings. Research findings have been done on this. There are a lot of people have done research, and including 2 of my PhD students are done PhD in this banking sector itself, digitalization. So another one is that what we have mentioned about the tactics adopted by say HDFC Bank or adopted by ICICI Bank. Since you have a research bent of mind, so I thought let me suggest it's very difficult to get a corporate people with a research bent of mind. That is the reason why you are a vice president. Because the decision you take, if it is a research based, your decision is more precise. Now, if you analyze tactics adopted by HDFC Bank, vis-a-vis the tactics adopted by in terms of intake, tactics adopted by in terms of acceptance of consumer, HDFC Bank vis-a-vis ICICI Bank, or vis-a-vis SBI Bank, you will find a great difference between the three banks.
Sure.
For an example, as you know that SBI online banking is more trusted, more reliable by the Indian consumer compared to any other bank. Based on the facts that are right. So if it is suggested that since you have done a good work, you can extend it to this area, and if you are itching to do some PhD about it.
I'll take that comment with the pinch of salt. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Now I would request Dr. Patil to please come and summarize the tracks in absentia.
I am reading a paper written by Dr. P. Shafullah, who is faculty in IBS Business School, Bangalore. The title is Digital Marketing Strategies of Car Markets in India. Ford launched a new 360-degree campaign called Urban Discoveries to promote the launch of company's new car, EcoSport, and campaign has digital marketing at its core. The campaign invited people from 12 cities of India to discover not so popular sport in their respective cities. The winner of the competition would drive away 4 EcoSports cars. Top luxury car makers BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz are increasingly using iPad apps and online campaigns to reach out to tech-savvy customers, particularly in smaller cities and towns where these global brands do not have showrooms. Mercedes recently equipped its sales consultants across the country with iPad application called iSales, which enable users to engage with its car in virtual domain and customize the car before making an order. Present customers are more networked, tech savvy, digitally engaged, and with preferences changing, and car makers want to reach customers faster. iSales, which is available only in select countries, allow 360-degree view as well as customization of colors, accessories, equipment, and interiors. A customer can craft the car of his aspiration through his virtual to this virtual tool. Customers have complete understanding of a car even before physical examining or test driving the car after approaching the showroom. Keywords are digital marketing, iSales, urban discoveries, moment of the day, and leave the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we request our co-chair to please come and give out the closing comment.
Thank you very much, Professor Heyman, and Sunil for inviting me to the stage and being a co-chair. And I was very glad to be with Dr. Shivan Sabha. Learn so many things from you. And thank you all the presenters for presenting such a wonderful paper, right from banking sectors. I had two presentations, and I'm able to learn so many things. And of course, there are a few things which are definitely going to be disturbing the entire global system, the regulating ecosystem. But I like to put some conclusion to the, especially when talking about digital disruption. Now, if you look at the models presented in early the day today, talking about Uber, and we're talking about Apple, we're talking about Airbnb, and these people, when you look at it, they had something which is very important, which is the human-centric kind of approach. All the presentation which I had so far, I've seen it's all more about consumer or customer-centric, which means that we're putting forward the customer in front of the product and we're trying to sell. But if you want to be extremely disruptive in the entire ecosystem, you have to understand the human nature and human centricity. Based on that, if you're able to create certain products which can probably have a trajectory effect, okay, creating a completely, a totally different, a phenomenon. So these people, what they've done is they typically have modeled, okay, something which has been human interfaces or human way of thinking. So if you're able to understand or model how the way humans are behaving, how the human patterns, how we can be human-centric in terms of ease and usability. So if you look at from the earlier days, we have been modeling, we saw a bird fly, invented an aeroplane. So similar way, these people who have done Uber and everything, they ensure that the human need to be very easily able to approach something right from the taxi service, or especially when Apple created the first user interface they had, the mobile, they did not think about consumers. They thought about how humans, okay, can easily interact with the device and how they can be. So these things, if you're able to implement in our research papers and next coming to all the professors, everything, okay, I think it will be a great opportunity. So we need to understand, okay, how to model these things, and then only disruption can happen in our ecosystem. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for taking me. Thank you.
A small note for all the researchers. Conference will be there tomorrow as well. Only this thing is the venue will be IBS Mumbai campus, which is bank opposite Hiranandani Hospital. So we all will assemble there at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And the session will be there till lunch tomorrow. So tomorrow also we'll have. Yes, and the most important thing is, we will be announcing 3 awards tomorrow, and those awards will be handed over to the researchers. So we expect everybody to be there tomorrow. IBS Mumbai campus, opposite Hiranandani Hospital, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Professor Vaiki Bhushan, our track, for attending the session right now. I would also like to thank our track chairperson, Dr. R.K. Srivastava, and our co-chairperson, Mr. Nagaraj Iyer, along with our faculty coordinator, Dr. Ajit Patil, and our rapporteur, Professor Rita Ratnikar, for making this session a wonderful session that we all attended. It was